Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to Australia. Um, Dave, this webinar has been going for 13 hours now, so we've finally come around to Asia and Australia. So I'd like to welcome everyone to our session. We're going to keep this interesting and entertaining. So I'd like to kick off with some introductions. Dave Harvey is the factory manager at Century Engineering, and I'll get you, Dave, to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi. So I'm David Harvey. I'm the factory manager at Century Engineering. I have been now for over 3.5 years. It's been an absolute privilege to take on the responsibility. And it's an absolute privilege to work with Alistair and David Heaslip as my bosses. So for me personally, I started out in the industry many years ago, and I started my career in the mechanical side of the industry and then moved into the steel fabrication side of the industry. Done some business management courses along the way, and yeah, I've just sort of everywhere I've gone, I've just managed to find myself in a leadership role within 6 months, typically as a leading hand or a supervisor. And like I said, I've had the privilege to take on the factory manager's responsibilities and roles at Century Engineering.
But you started off as a Boilermaker with those skills and then working your way up.
Yeah, so off the from the floor, from the tools and hands-on environment. I had the privilege to do my apprenticeship with my father, who I see as one of the best Boilermakers I've ever met, and worked in a very custom field for the first 10 years of my career. So everything that we built was completely custom, tailored to the customer's requirements in absolute detail. And I think that really set me up for my future and has helped me get to the position where I am today.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. And we're going to be drawing on Dave's insights as we move along here. My background, my name's Alistair Lee. My background was in the automotive industry. Learned a lot working in plants in Australia and also the US. In the early days, I got the benefit of learning from Toyota, and they were really taught me a lot about lean and got me interested in this area, and I've absolutely loved it. And I've loved working with Century over the last year. So we've been on a bit of a journey, which we're going to share with you now. So just to move forward in our agenda, we're going to talk a little bit about what Century Engineering does. We've got a video that we can share. Then we'll move into what our journey has been so far. And I think we're a year into it. So this is going to be relevant for people out there in the early stages of their lean journey, but I think we've come quite a long way. So there's a few really good learnings that we're keen to share. So the next part is just to describe the industry that we're in. Our core skill is welding, and there you can see some of our Boilermakers at work. And we do a variety of different products from fairly simple to top left. You can see some pipe supports that go into the defense industry. And bottom right, you can see quite a complex job that goes into the mining industry. So those two industries are where we are very strong. If you'd listened to the leadership panel earlier on, you would have heard from our CEO, David Heaslip. So yeah, really great range of product, and in Australia, mining and defence are both very strong at the moment. So we're going to share with you a video. Swap over to this video, and we're going to pause this as we go, and David's going to talk you through the processes.
Yeah. So At Century Engineering, we have over 10,000 square meters of facility, under roof facility, and about the same size laydown yard, which is fantastic. It's a big workshop. It's a very diverse workshop, and like Alistair said, we diversify from the mining industry all the way through to the defence industry. For the last 25 years, Century has also supported the power industry, making various fabrication components for the power industry. And from time to time, we also support the water industry, and that's building clarifiers and other water treatment plants for the likes of Melbourne Water and Queensland Water as well. So
this is what it looks like, just 50 meters that way.
yeah, just literally that 50 meters away. So we've got 5 bays. This is bay 1. So bay 1 here, you can see right in front of us, just past the office there. It's in its final stages of assembly. So that's a geothermal prototype drill rig for one of our blue chip customers, and that is now on its way to America to start doing geothermal drilling. So that will be basically tapping holes, geothermal into residential houses, which is exciting stuff.
Renewable energy.
Yeah. And then you can see over on the left-hand side, just adjacent to it, where John is. This is a very exciting time for us. So that's our very first full CNC robot welder. And this robot welder is moving us into the direction of additive manufacturing for the defence industry. And we're really starting to show some very, very impressive results there. So we're leading the way there, which is fantastic. So, and as you work your way down through that bay, we've got our assembly teams as well. So we just skip through bay 2. Bay 2 is our mining fabrication space. And here you can see bay 3. This is our defence fabrication space. So primarily this entire bay, consisting of about 2,000 square meters, is supporting the Hunter class frigate program. And now the air warfare destroyers are starting to come back in for refurbishment. We're also back into supplying various products for the air warfare destroyer project. So in this space here, we've got over 40 Boilermakers over 2 shifts, running about 19 to 20 hours a day. And from the door furthest away, this is where the product starts to flow into bay 3, and that's where we do all our first stage material processing, kitting, sorting, and then as you can see, as we work our way down through the bays, we've got the laydown trolleys adjacent to each fabrication bay. One trolley is basically feeding the materials into that bay first in, and then the material comes out first out, and then it goes through a very extensive quality inspection process from there. As we move closer to us, then it goes through various stages of quality inspection, sign off, a lot of documentation, and then it moves off to the left into our painting facility, and then out of our painting facility into our packing and dispatch area. So this is a huge improvement that we've made, first in, first out flow. And I'll tell you what, it's been a lot of work, but the improvements that we've made here and the outcome is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, this is where we really started with flow.
Big focus, this is where we started. Right, so this is a mining project for BHP. This is a project that we are very proud of. So historically speaking, this project was never really successfully refurbished in Australia before. There's been a few other companies throughout different states in Australia that have had a go at this. So we're very proud to say this is actually our second refurbishment on this product, and we've absolutely nailed it. The team and the development of the team, the training and development, the commitment, the resilience, and the sheer perseverance of our team to take it up and lift up to the highest absolute quality and standards expected by BHP.
So what's that welder doing?
No, that's right. So you can see the welder there, he's actually using a very particular welding method, which is a TIG welding method, but he's actually looking through a mirror at the moment because the weld he is performing there is not actually in front of him for him to be able to see. So that's what I'm talking about. It's extremely high skilled and extremely impressive. So out of over 260 positional welds, as we call it there, I think we had about a 1.5% failure rate. And that actual failure, we had 0 failures in the mirror, and we had a couple of very minor repairs to do where you can see it. So it's a 12-month project, and this one runs 24 hours, 6 days a week. Here you can see the assembly of the geothermal rig, our CNC machine shop, press shop, some more parts of the coil, weld testing, which is very exciting. And you can notice the concentration on the face of the teams. So here's a bit of dimension checking on a major project for BHP. Massive tank that we built.
Is our paint shop operation.
Yeah.
So we really have the advantage of vertical integration, don't we? All, right from fabrication, machining, painting, right through.
It's a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is showing actually some of the daily management systems that we'll talk about.
Yeah, so we have been focusing a lot on huddles, team huddles in front of project boards, and we're really starting to get some traction there with that now, and it's showing some great results.
Great. Well, let's move in to our next one. So just before we start talking about our lean journey, just some of the challenges that we've faced. We talked about the strong growth in both mining and defence, and that has really put pressure on our order book, and it has caused some late deliveries. Century, I think, is an in-demand company because of the quality that we produce. But often we have very tight deadlines that we have to fix. So that's something that we are working on to improve. The disconnected processes, really the layout of our plant, things move from fabrication to machining, and then often back to fabrication to the paint shop. So they are disconnected, and there was a lot of movement through in batches. All right. The quality. Quality, we achieve high quality, but there is quite a bit of inspection and rework to achieve that quality. So we are putting effort into process improvement, particularly in the quality end, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And the last bit of our challenge related to the first point, I suppose, is we're trying to recruit a very in-demand workforce of highly skilled boilermakers, and not easy to find them.
No.
So let's move on to our lean journey. And Dave's going to talk through each one of these steps.
Yeah, right. So our faltering start. So, it's working with Alistair, Robert, and Seamus, prior to our engagement with this team, we were engaged with another lean, training provider, but in the end, it didn't quite work out quite well for us, and that's also considering Century Engineering. Almost every single product that we make is different, and there's probably a bit too many gaps between training and development sessions and so on and so forth. So
So you think it was that practical application that was sort of missing in the
Yeah.
first round?
And that's what you guys really brought to us, was that hands-on, out on the floor, practical application tailored to our facility and our product,
Yeah,
and just not the Toyota factory, because we do not, that's our biggest challenge, is how bespoke every single item is that we make, and
yeah,
almost every single item is completely different and with completely different standards and specifications compared to the item before it. So
yeah.
that's our biggest challenge, and that's our biggest challenge incorporating the lean process into our facility. So, what's life without a challenge? We're definitely getting there, right?
Mm,
And leadership engagement. So talking about that, going through a first round without really any great outcome. And then it was a hell of a task for me
yeah.
to really pull the team in and go, guys, we've got to go again.
Yes.
We've got to give it a go.
So David Heaslip, the CEO, was keen to go again, but
yeah.
not so much the rest of the
So,
team.
yeah, my management team, or our management team out in production, that consists of, 9 supervisors and 12 leading hands. So it's a fair old team. And to try and get them re-engaged and back on board, to commit and take the pill, as Robert would say,
Mm,
and really switch the mind over to take full engagement into the process. It was a bit bumpy at start, but I saw pretty much within by the end of the first session, I had 95% of the team.
mm,
And then by the end of the second session, we had 100% of the team.
yeah.
And I thought that was going to be my biggest challenge, to be honest, but all credit to Alistair, Robert, and Seamus. The way they go about engaging with the team is absolutely fabulous.
And you decided to focus on one of the defense products. Why did you decide to focus on that at the start?
Well, it's a fairly simple product, even though there's 80 different styles.
Mm,
But it was a simple product, and that's where our pain was, to be honest with you. So that's why we thought, well, let's take up the challenge, and and then let's work towards that. So now it's probably the best thing out there. It's the
so,
least of my worries now.
so what did that value stream improvement entail?
Well, the value stream improvement, there was a lot of physical activities out in the workshop. So that was going through a physical activity and walking through the step by steps with each department leader. So it gave each department a little bit more of an insight into their partner's department, and what they have to take on and work through each day. So there's a little bit more of an all-round understanding from the entire team on the entire process, which made a huge difference. And what I found out of that since that is a much tighter collaboration between departments out in the production facility, which is fantastic. A little bit more understanding, and each department going a little above and beyond to support each other, a little bit more aware of the 20% either side of their department, what to expect and what they're expected to hand over. Yeah, and supporting each other.
Yeah. So we might move on to team engagement. How did you go about engaging the teams?
Well, engaging the teams, that was basically that was pretty much doing the physical activities that really helped out, to be honest, Alistair. And doing the physical activities showed us what's physically possible, and understanding. We got to really see the advantages from batching to flow. So and the one
that's not an easy one to get your mind around.
No, it's not. It's really not, because to be honest, everyone in the industry that we work in has this sense of batching constantly. Just batch it, just put 1,000 pieces together and try and work on them all at once or something. And the team engagement, it's been really fantastic to see particular members of our management or production management team completely changed their frame of mind, and it's just become a way of their thinking now. It's natural way of thinking, and honestly, it's helped their well-being as a manager and as a person, because they can see in front of them the flow, where things are, where the pain points are. It's just not a big jumbled spaghetti mess, basically. So it really has helped the team, mentally as well.
Yeah. And you've done a few other things. You've got protected time. Every team has 1 hour of time per week to work on improvement.
Yeah.
You've also implemented a skills matrix.
Yes, that's right. So just adding to that, we've spoken about our percentage of rework and defects. So now we've developed a complete tracking system for each individual. Right first time, world defect tracking, paint defect tracking, CNC machine tracking. And this is to collect data, basically. And then we're really starting to capture a huge amount of data. And within that data, we're starting to understand whether or not it's a person problem, a training problem, or a process issue. And we've actually made huge developments in certain processes out in production to give the people the absolute best opportunity of success.
Yeah.
And it's making a huge difference, right?
Yeah, it is making a big difference. And how would you describe the culture of the team out there at the moment?
The culture of the team is, I came into a really good culture over 4 years ago at Century, and I think that's a big credit to David Heaslip and the existing team at that point. So every day we are trying to add and improve that culture. And at the moment, with the lean frame of mind and better understanding, and like I said before, it's just a little bit easier for people to do their jobs. It's given us a little bit more room to put a bit more focus on our culture as well. So we have a great culture. Everyone that we speak to here is very happy to work here. They feel like they're in a fair, safe environment. And generally our biggest thing is common courtesy and respect for each other. That's our baseline here at Century. Common courtesy and respect. And from there,
and if the leaders act that sets the tone for the workforce.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's move on to the layout. I know you worked very hard on that layout. You must have gone through about 20 different iterations.
Yes, we did. So Alistair introduced me to the Miro platform, which is a fantastic tool. We had done a layout 12 months prior, but it was very much off the cuff. We had no visibility of the final result. So it was a bit of a thumbsuck, right? It worked out okay. But once we had the Miro map, I did spend a lot of time shuffling the workshop around and doing.
You could move equipment, you could move lanes
quickly, and we were having team meetings and full team engagement, very open, honest conversations with the team, and they're the area owners, so they know the area the best. With that lean frame of mind, making sure we've always got that in the front of our mind. We basically had this tool to physically and visually see what we could do and what changes that we could make to optimize the move, because the move was a big investment. We had over 25 people here over the Christmas break last year, and we went for our round 2 of a major move of the production facility. And the outcome of that is been fantastic for us. Yeah.
You can see the before and after and the top there.
Yeah, so the spaghetti maps.
Yeah.
And that's, very simple method or way to understand your current state. And it sort of blew us all away, or it actually did blow us all away when we realized how much we're moving the stuff around the production facility and how much time we're wasting. So then we go ahead and we do a future state and a spaghetti map over the top of that to see, well, doesn't need to move over 10,000 square meters of production facility. It just needs to stay in one line. You know,
Yeah.
it's pretty straightforward stuff.
Yeah, and we've worked very hard on connecting our processes with FIFO lanes and how do we reduce the overall lead time through our process. So I'd like to move quickly on to daily management. We only have a few minutes left, but we started daily management, and you've really picked that up and run with it.
Yeah, that's right. We were having a supervisors meeting 3 times a week, and it didn't quite have the right amount of substance and a context around it. So Alistair, once again, has really helped us out, put together a daily management meeting every day at 9:30 with the entire production management team, with an agenda and set tasks and metrics as well. Very important, the metrics, and so we can visually see our current state. And it's been a game changer as well. So it's great to see everyone rocks up every day, and they're all engaged with that meeting, because we're all there to support each other. We talk about what's going well in your department, what's not going well in your department. Each manager has an opportunity to talk about what's in his FIFO lane. And then it gives us an opportunity to potentially prioritize in that FIFO lane. So if something needs to move to the front of the lane, we can make that collective decision together, and everyone else and other departments is aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next steps for us on the daily management system, that we've got sort of tier 2. Tier 1 is the teams. We've started with production boards for specific projects, but we want to have all the teams doing a quick 15-minute daily huddle. There's the layer beyond that, the leadership team coming together. So that's on our to-do list. Right, we've just got 3 minutes left. So your reflections here. We've covered some of this, but pick out some of your key reflections.
Improvement opportunities, the light bulb moments during the first improvement activity. So the light bulb moment is, and just like I sort of mentioned before, you can see on people's faces and they go, whoa, okay, that's not that difficult. This is heaps easier than what we're doing at the moment. You know, so there's the light bulb moment. And it was fantastic. I paid particular attention to waiting for that to happen within the team, and I'm really happy to say that the entire team had that moment, and they haven't come back from it since.
Yeah, and it's their practical application that gives them that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And team engagement. And 1 hour, so the protected time each week. So when we talk about team engagement, that is the entire team. It's just not the management team, but the entire production team. This is where we have been given the opportunity to stop and spend an hour on focusing on about first in, first out flow. And our main task from the beginning has been 5S. So that's getting everything in order, leaning out what we don't need, went out the door. We're only working with what we just need, and we do this every week. Have a team meeting at the beginning of that, which is fantastic as well.
We've covered the mindset challenge of that. We've got a lot of people through practical application across the line, still some work to do there. But I've really been impressed with some of the results of our problem solving, particularly our welding team have really made some great strides.
We've seen that through the defect tracking. So it was clear as day to see that we don't have a training development or people problem. We had a process issue. And we really nailed into that now, and we've put a lot of effort into changing that process, but we're really just starting to see the fruits of that now. Great. Thank
you very much, Dave. That half an hour went very quickly.
It did.
But we made it. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this session, and stay tuned for the next one.
Thank you. Absolute privilege.
Bye.